Hello YouTubers, diecast collectors. It's Jared White, the J-Man 6'3", and in today's rendition of the diecast Bible, I'm going to be going over something a lot of people who collect diecast and buy their pieces probably are generally wondering a certain question. What is it worth? You know, you buy it, you get it home, it's brand new, it's mint. You're kind of wondering, and you thought, oh, I scored an amazing deal. Well, you're wondering, how much is it worth? What's the value? Well, generally I'm here to tell you most of the time it's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. How long of a distance are they willing to go, and exactly how much are they willing to pay for it? Well, I can tell you right now that a lot of you who are collecting aren't generally in this to make money. I'm sad to burst a lot of people's bubble. But unless you're really good at this, unless you can really score a lot of good deals, unless you can be consistent with going to thrift stores, and unless you can be really consistent with buying your stuff at good prices, then, generally, you're probably not in this to make money. You're probably in this to get enjoyment out of the hobby. But I can give you one example. My Aunt Lenny, my mom's sister. Her friend Ken just had to sell his collection, and he's been trying for years to sell his collection. He's been trying the eBay thing, but he didn't want the stress of being an eBay shipper and only having a little money coming in here and there. So now he had a website set up for his cars, and then a friend of his quit doing the website thing, so that really kind of sucks. But unfortunately, most collectors just don't have a whole lot of luck nowadays selling their collection. I mean, you got to have a lot of room for a collection most of the time, and you got to have a lot of room for some of this stuff. So most people don't really want to shell out the cash unless it's a big name manufacturer, unless it's something that they really want, unless it's something they're really after. Now, a few examples I can give here are some good examples of stuff that generally can be worth a lot of money. I've got a few on the table to show you that are right here, and I've got one that's right here, but I'll show you those in a minute. But yeah, a lot of people, they're worth what usually they're willing to pay for, unless you've scored like them for like 15, 20 bucks. Generally, it's not going to be worth a lot unless it's a high-end manufacturer. That's what I've said in the past, and that's what I'm still saying now. Or unless it's something that wasn't made for a very long time, unless it was something that was really super limited edition, like some of the stuff I have here. Unless you've gotten it autographed or something, which is another example I have here. Now, that doesn't mean you can't score good. That doesn't mean you can't make money on it. You can make money on it if you're really knowledgeable and you really, really know what you're doing. But that's the thing. You really need to be astute at collecting diecast. You really need to know the high-end stuff, and you really need to know what you're getting into. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean you can't make money on it. Now, like I said, so back to Ken. Ken had to sell his cars to my shop, Design and Consign, and he only got $5 a car for them, and they were some really nice Ertl cars. They were 1/18 scale. They were all this and all that. He only sold them for $5 a car to him. He's sick about it. He's absolutely heartbroken because he only had to sell them for $5. Now, the reason he was only able to sell them for $5 for 1/18, Robert, my friend from Design and Consign, had to take a truck and trailer down there and take it up there and take it back, and he needed to make it worth his while. He's not going to be able to make money on this stuff, plus his gas money it took him to go down to Alexandria in Washington, D.C., so he's not going to be able to make his money back on that unless he pays them $5 a piece. So generally, if you have a friend that's traveling a long distance to buy a gigantic collection, if you have a huge collection, you may not make that much money on it, and you may not make as much money as you think you'll make on it. So generally, like I said, it's only worth what a lot of people are willing to pay for it. Now, first example I want to get on to here is a diecast I scored for really good money at one point. Now, I scored this at a thrift store. If you look at all the high-end detailing on it, and everything that's done to this car. I don't know how well you can see that, but this is a GMP. If you look at the badge, it says GMP on there. Now this is a really high-end Swamp Rat dragster I scored for 25 bucks. Now I've seen models like this on eBay, have a lot of people watching them when they're about 80 bucks or 100 bucks, so I know that if there's a lot of people watching this listing and it sells pretty quickly, I know this model is going to go for $100 all day long. So already right there, even if somebody's got to drive down to my house to get it and pay like $5 in gas money, I'm still making at least $30 on that model if I have to sell it ever, or if I ever want to sell it. I'm probably never going to get rid of it, but I know that I would make a lot of money on that model as it is. I would make like $30, $40, maybe $50 if I'm lucky on a good day. So that model's worth a lot. Another thing I can give you advice on here probably is autographs. What do autographs make a piece worth? Because I have this 1/18 scale General Lee model with the Rebel flag, of course. I know you all have seen this in a review, and that review's got a lot of views on it, and it's a really cool model. Now, I've got Bo, Luke, and Daisy Duke's signature right on the trunk here. As you can see, if you look real closely. But that model probably, with the signatures, now that's a tricky one, because when I was at Cooter's Last Stand down in Luray, I saw a ton of people there getting their General Lee signed. One person had an Auto World General Lee, another person had an Auto World General Lee. So you never know. The market now, after going to Cooter's Last Stand and seeing that this was going to be the last time they were going to get together, now the market might get a little saturated with 1/18 scale General Lees with the autographs. Now, that doesn't mean that won't be worth a lot of money because it's a really iconic movie car, but the autographs might set that piece off and make that go for a lot of money, because a lot of people might want a General Lee with real deal autographs on it one day, and it could go for a lot of money. But I did get that signed by the real deal Dukes of Hazzard. That wasn't a fake. Those were real signatures. I went down to the event, and that's what I got done. So now, like I said, that piece could easily now, since it was probably a $100 model, with all those signatures, they probably will make it worth at least $300 to $400. Now, once the Dukes of Hazzard are gone, not to sound morbid here, but who knows how long they could be with us and what might happen one day. But, well, once they're gone, who knows what that model could be worth? Who knows what it could be worth in the future? I know the Paul Walker Mitsubishi on eBay, since Paul Walker's death, has really, really gone up in value. That the signatures on that, the 1/18 scale Mitsubishi, that's worth a ton of money now. And with a signature, who knows what that could be worth? But a lot of these 1/18 scale cars that were from the old movies, the older movies, are now fetching quite a bit of money. Like Burt Reynolds' Smokey and the Bandit, that could fetch a lot of money one day because he's getting old now. He's not going to be with us too much longer. I mean, a lot of these models are really going to go up in value, so we never know what these could be worth. A lot of these models could start going for like buku bucks. These could start going for 300, 400. I mean, really the sky's the limit on the hundreds of that model, and they could be going for 300, 400, 500, 600. But then again, it's only worth what somebody's really willing to pay for it, and unless you're a big-time collector, unless you have a ton of money to pay for that particular piece, unless it's a part of your childhood, you got to really have that specific like niche collector to really want that. Not everybody's going to be after a piece like that, but it just depends. You got to kind of weed out the people that really want that piece. Now, the last thing I have for you here is a movie car. Movie cars, like I said, are another thing to look for in collecting. This is the Munster coach. Now, this is a good example of just being in the right place at the right time. The thrift store, the right place right there. This model, I paid $37 for it. Now, I know generally that model can go for $120, $80, $120. So now I'm probably making $40 on that model on a good day. So that's pretty good. But I think values, like I said, it just depends on who's who and what's what. Now, you can't really make money on a lot of the cars nowadays because they charge so much money for like green light. It's $6 a car for the green lights at Toys R Us, and they charge a lot of money for them. But like I said, it depends on the older stuff, if you're making money, if you're not making money. But really, my tip to you is just enjoy this hobby and try to love it for what it is, and don't focus too much on the money. But like I said, it doesn't mean you can't make a good amount. Anyway, guys, that's my tip to you on making money on your collection. But you just have to be in the right place at the right time. You have to look. You have to be really careful about how much you're spending. But anyway, I'm Jared White, the J-Man63. Like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one, guys. Bye.